Hello everyone, you are watching Kickin' It on Team TV. Please share, like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Raja Army and today we are kicking it at Raspberry Rhinoceros. Yes, that awesome legendary status venue that's been here since the 90s and the 2000s, it's back again. And today, the reason we're here is because of the FOMO Fest Volume 2. Yes baby, this is curated by Daddy Entertainment and they have an awesome lineup of artists. And I'm gonna kick it with each and every one of them. So stay tuned because Team TV is the place to be and Kickin' It is the show to watch. Today I'm kicking it with Malhotra. Hi Samir, thank you so much for your time and it looks awesome today. Thank you. It's a bright day and FOMO Fest Volume 2 is about to kick in a few hours. Samir, let's face it, all your gigs have a very good all-star lineup. Mm-hmm. Is that something that just comes by or is that something you consciously do?
Yeah, I do it simply because, India is a microcosm of different kinds of music. So we have, bands from different genres, languages. So I like to include all the people that I can and also talk to different kinds of audiences and make them have a common ground so they can come to the same place, and people who are going to college as well as people, with high net worth individuals or whatever you have. I'd like to include a whole spectrum of people from different kinds of lifestyles as well as age groups, which is why I kind of...
So that's why you keep it diverse, so it can appeal to everybody at the end of the day.
Yeah man, I'm so many different people in one person, I have so many different tastes myself. Right. So I try to cater to all of them.
Alright, so at the age of 45, you've literally done it all and seen it all in the space of entertainment, I would like to say.
I would not say that.
What motivates you to keep throwing these amazing parties and coming up with concepts like All-Star Jam and Daddy's With Song Wednesday and now the FOMO Fest?
Well, it's literally the passion with which the musicians take their work so seriously. I mean, it's not easy to be a musician in the country today, and yet these people are burning the midnight oil on both ends of the stick. And if they can have two jobs and carry on doing what they do in the night and kind of literally coming up with such amazing music, that inspires me to come up with platforms for them that will cater to the most amazing festivals or kind of lineups.
Right. A few years back, I read in an interview, and I quote, "I was lucky to find like-minded people in places of power who enabled me to get those events off ground, or else I'd still be dreaming." Are you a firm believer of the quote, "My network is my net worth"?
Well, I was talking about Riaz Amlani at that point because he was the one who gave me my first break in this business. This was in 2008, 2009.
Wow.
We wanted to just set up a platform where original artists, at that time, a lot of bands were doing cover music and we had gone into that pop stage and that had kind of finished and petered down. So people were just going to, just cover music. And we said, there's so much talent out here, apart from what happens in Bollywood, of course. And there's so much talent of people trying to get out and do something that's original. So Riaz was the first one who, we did with Daddy's With Song Wednesdays on his terrace in Juhu. It was literally a seminal thing for the artist at that point. So yes, I would say that if Riaz wasn't there at that point, my trajectory would have been a little different. Maybe I would have found someone else, but it would have taken a little longer than it did for me. But yes, my network is my net worth. It is.
Awesome. So that actually gets me to the next question as well. When you stepped in the industry, was there someone that you looked up to? And what are the changes in the 10 years that you've been there?
Well, Raja, when we were starting out, there were very few people who were doing amazing work. I mean, Blue Frog had started in 2008 and kind of led the way in their flagship music portal, venue. But there was also OML, which had been in the business for about 8 years by then. But NH7 hadn't even happened. The first one hadn't happened until November 2009, and we started 2009 January. So there were very few, I would say like there were very few institutions or people doing the things that I wanted to see. You know? So I wanted to go to a concert where there would be amazing bands or original music, and there weren't very many actually. So we were part of the whole process that started it out. We got 40-50 bands to debut with us.
Wow.
You know, so it was a very amazing time, and it's how it happened. So we're making it up as we go, right? You know, but that's been the beauty of the journey.
What is the difference that you see from then to now with the generation and the newer managers and the newer companies that are also coming in?
Yeah, I think OML has definitely set the standard as far as, you know, the professionalism and what they're getting in on the back end and the production side and everything. So I would say they're definitely the benchmark for what has happened and the professionalism they've got in. But times have changed. I mean, they've also, you know, gone in a different direction. So we're trying to kind of make it that all these guys get off their day jobs and have this to do just as what they should be doing, which is amazing music, amazing original music. And I say for the guys who, you know, are starting out, that believe everything will happen. You know, the change is around the corner. We're going to be, I mean, there are festivals that are filled up all over the place, but I think we can do a lot more and create a lot more beauty with the music and the talent that we have.
What would you like to say to the daydreamers and the young guns who want to do exactly what you're trying to do right now?
Wow, I would say, you know, just go out there and do it. Fail miserably sometimes, and try out everything that you feel. You know, do it organically. The only thing I would say, everything I've ever started, if I started an all-star jam at one point, it was because I wanted the greatest hits of, you know, 4 bands, for instance. So they would play. So that was like the T20 instead of, you know, as compared to a test match. So that was the T20 of the music that I was offering to the audience.
So tell us something about your association with Raz, and what is the oldest memory, and how would you take a walk down the memory lane when I talk about Raspberry Rhinoceros?
My association with Raz is that we all grew up here. We all, you know, we all had our first moment on stage, or we all kind of puked for the first time, or had our first joint, or, you know, got drunk for the first time. It was all those stories combining. In fact, I wrote a little post about this saying, it's been a while since, you know, this place grew us up. Now that they've pimped it out the way they have, we're totally amazed to come back and be a part of something that started us all out. So the association is seminal. It's where we came from.
3 things to a great, successful party.
Wow, great music, great venue, and great women.
You heard that. You don't need alcohol.
Okay, good crowd, great crowd.
Alright. Have you ever gone into a bar brawl?
You know, I kind of tend to avoid these simply because...
But no, when you were young, growing up, all of that good stuff.
I was actually the guy stopping bar brawls. I had a few friends who were actually as big as me, and then, you know, wanted to show that and were hormone crazy. So there were times that I was always the peacemaker and kind of stopping it. It was not worth it. It's just definitely not. There was, you know, anybody takes something out, someone raises a hand, it's one moment, it's one night of your life. None of that shit matters. Just always avoid it, walk away. You'll always live to, you know, talk about it another day, and you are the stronger person.
You heard that. Be sensible at the end of the day. Right. When no music, parties, or alcohol, what entertains Samir Malhotra?
The passion to do something special. You know, I mean, to go, of course.
I love the drive to keep doing.
The drive to do what I dream to do, which is, you know, something that I hopefully do one day. But just the drive to carry on and do what I want to do.
Alright. And the last question before I let you go, and we all want to know this. So, Daddy, aka Bob. What's the history behind that name? How did that come by?
That just came about because I was a control freak at one point. I had no friends. I had just broken up for my girlfriend at that point. It was 17 years ago.
Okay.
And I had literally was in a cocoon with my ex-girlfriend, and then when I stepped out of it, I had no friends. So I started, getting people together, and I got this whole tribe, which I now call the tribe, tribe of people together, and they became best friends over time. So I was the kind of conveyor, the guy who got people together, and the guy who said, okay, now go to the loo right now because we're going out. So someone said, yes, daddy, and that bloody stuff, man. So it ruined my sex life for the last few years.
But isn't it a good thing when girls call you daddy?
Yeah, dude, we're not going there right now.
Alright, thank you so much, Sameer. It was a pleasure chatting up with you. Thank you so much for your time. I know you got an amazing festival to host right now, and the sound check's going on, sounding brilliant. We're all looking forward to this. Everybody out there, this is the channel that you want to be. Why? Because we chill with cool people and we're kicking it. So hit like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. This is Raja Army, and I'll be back with more beautiful, amazing people and amazing musicians and bands and music entrepreneurs. Cheers. Peace out.